Y'all see how fast I caught that? That is exactly the opposite of what this mouse pad is.
So you can get this pad off of Lethal Gaming Gear, and you can get their 490 by 410 millimeter pad for $29.99, their 1000 by 500 millimeter pad for $49.99, and their 1200 by 550 millimeter pad for $59.99. The stitching on the Jupiter matches every other Lethal Gaming Gear pad that I've reviewed. It's very well done, and actually so far there hasn't been any fraying. But unfortunately, I think it will start soon. The logo is pretty cool. The logos on all of the pads have this minimalistic look while still achieving the outer space vibe, which I fuck with a lot. You will feel this logo when you move your mouse over it, but just like with, pretty much every other LGG pad, it's in the bottom right corner. So I hope you don't move your arm that way, like this T-Rex arm way when you're when you're gaming, so you're just not going to move your mouse over that spot. The surface of the pad is really soft. It's very nice and smooth, so you aren't going to have that tickle feeling on your arm like you would with hybrid pads. This is a control surface, and just saying it's a control surface isn't doing it justice. Like, it is a true control pad. It is slow. It is muddy, slow. That's why I titled the video the way I titled it. It's perfect for games like CSGO and Valorant, where you want to be as precise as possible with the flicks. In those types of games, on paper, you want something with high dynamic friction and static friction, because if you miss for a second, then that's enough time for the enemy to start shooting back. So this pad is pretty much unusable with glass skates, which surprised me. The V1 lethal skates and the super glides make this mouse pad muddier. So I guess if you're looking for the absolute mud experience, get glass skates and this mouse pad right here. PTFE feet, on the other hand, is something else I can recommend. You get a good amount of static and dynamic friction while it not being overly muddy. I'm really surprised by the fact that PTFE feet are faster than the glass skates on the Jupiter, since it's pretty much the opposite on the 3 other pads that LGG offers. So I'm guessing it has to do with the material used for the surface. So the rubber base is solid as usual. Nah, there's nothing to talk about there. So even though this pad does what it's advertised as, I still don't want to use it daily. My preferences go for hybrid pads like the Venus and fast control pads like the Saturn. And don't worry, I'm approaching the 1 week of use, so my video will be coming up shortly for the Saturn. Don't worry. The overall friction of this pad is too much for me. I'd rather have something that offers little to medium friction and middle of the pack speed. On the friction spectrum, this is the one with the most, alongside with the Razer Gigantus V1. In fact, this mouse pad reminds me of the Razer Gigantus V1. So it feels right at home, but there's a reason why I moved on from that pad. So when I first started seeing channels like Boardsy and House Gaming, they were reviewing a lot of hybrid pads, and I realized that I wanted to try that out. Those kind of properties, the middle of the pack speed, middle of the pack friction. So that's why I ended up getting the Odin Infinity, because of Boardsy's review. But anyways, I just wanted more speed, and I was just getting tired of moving my mouse around in a mud pad. But at the end of the day, just remember, in the famous words of Glarsis, that it all comes down to preference. It really does. If you want a lot of friction, go ahead. The Jupiter is for you. But if you're looking for anything else, just don't get this pad. If you're looking at the Lethal Gaming Gear pads, get the look at the Venus, look at the Saturn, and look at the Mercury. Definitely a lot faster. As I said before, I was using the Razer Gigantus V1, and in the summer of 2021, I wanted to move on from that. So started doing my research, and I found the Odin Infinity. But there is a much better pad than the Odin Infinity. And if were in the same situation as me last summer, and you're looking for a great hybrid pad to get, then click on this video right here to see what's possibly the best hybrid pad.